Listen to me carefully. Tonight is not an ordinary night. This moment is not a coincidence. The air you are breathing right now carries a divine invitation. Many people sleep without understanding what heaven is doing around them. But you are here because something in your spirit is awake. There are doors in the spiritual realm, doors in the physical realm, doors in your destiny, doors in your finances, doors in your future. And some doors do not open by struggle, they open by alignment. Some doors do not open by effort, they open by revelation. Some doors do not open by noise, they open by obedience. I want you to understand something deep tonight. Wealth is not only money. Wealth is opportunity. Wealth is access. Wealth is favor. Wealth is divine connection. Wealth is wisdom. Wealth is peace. Wealth is stability. Wealth is the ability to move forward when others are stuck. Many people chase money, but miss wealth. Many people run after riches, but ignore the key that opens the door. Tonight, you are not just hearing words. You are encountering a key. There is a power in the word that many people read, but few people experience. There is a mystery in the Psalms that many people quote, but few people understand. The Psalm is not just poetry. The Psalm is not just history. The Psalm is a spiritual weapon. The Psalm is a spiritual code. The Psalm is a spiritual sound that echoes in the realm you cannot see, but controls the realm you can see. When you read a Psalm with understanding, you are not just speaking words, you are releasing vibrations that shake invisible chains. When you read a Psalm with faith, you are not just praying, you are aligning your life with divine order. When you read a Psalm with expectation, you are not just hoping, you are commanding movement in places where your eyes cannot reach. Listen to me. Midnight is not just a time on the clock. Midnight is a spiritual intersection. Midnight is a boundary between what was and what will be. Midnight is the moment when the noise of the world becomes quiet and the voice of the Spirit becomes clear. Midnight is the hour when many destinies change, when many battles are fought, when many doors either close or open. There are people who cried in the morning but laughed at midnight. There are people who were rejected in the afternoon but accepted at midnight. There are people who were broke in the evening but lifted at midnight. Why? Because midnight is a spiritual moment where heaven responds to those who understand spiritual timing. I am speaking to someone whose life has been surrounded by closed doors. You tried this way, it closed. You tried that way, it failed. You knocked here, no answer. You pushed there, resistance. People look at you and think you are lazy, but they do not know the battles you have fought. People think you are slow, but they do not know the invisible walls you have faced. Tonight, something is shifting. There are doors of wealth that do not open by education alone. There are doors of wealth that do not open by connections alone. There are doors of wealth that do not open by hard work alone. They open when your spirit aligns with divine purpose. They open when your heart connects with divine timing. They open when your mouth speaks what heaven has already written. When you read a psalm before midnight with faith, you are not begging God. You are positioning yourself. You are saying, I refuse to enter a new day with old limitations. I refuse to cross into tomorrow with yesterday's chains. I refuse to carry poverty of mind, poverty of vision, poverty of expectation into a new season. Many people think wealth is blocked by lack of money, but often wealth is blocked by lack of spiritual clarity. When your mind is confused, your hands cannot build. When your heart is bitter, your doors remain closed. When your spirit is heavy, your destiny becomes slow. But when your spirit is awake, even small opportunities become great breakthroughs. Listen, there are people who work day and night but remain poor. There are people who sleep and wake up with favor. The difference is not effort alone, it is alignment. The difference is not intelligence alone, it is spiritual sensitivity. The difference is not connection alone, it is divine positioning. Tonight, as I speak, I see chains breaking in the realm you cannot see. I see hands being lifted in the realm you cannot see. I see doors moving in the realm you cannot see. Do not underestimate this moment. Do not treat this moment like ordinary words. Do not listen with your ears only, listen with your spirit. There is a psalm that speaks of the Lord as your shepherd. When you understand that truth, lack becomes illegal in your life. There is a psalm that speaks of the Lord as your light and salvation. When you understand that truth, fear loses its authority. There is a psalm that speaks of the Lord as your refuge and fortress. When you understand that truth, attacks lose their power. When you read a psalm before midnight, you are declaring that your life is not controlled by the economy, not controlled by your background, not controlled by your mistakes, not controlled by your enemies, not controlled by your past. You are declaring that your life is controlled by a higher order. Let me tell you something. Doors of wealth are not always physical doors. Sometimes they are mental doors. Sometimes they are emotional doors. Sometimes they are relational doors. Sometimes they are doors of courage, doors of wisdom, doors of discipline. When these doors open, money follows, favor follows, opportunity follows. Some of you have been praying for money, but heaven is opening your mind. Some of you have been praying for miracles, but heaven is giving you instruction. Some of you have been praying for breakthrough, but heaven is teaching you patience. Do not reject what you do not understand. Sometimes the key you need does not look like a key. When you read a psalm with sincerity, something happens inside you before it happens around you. Your thoughts begin to change. Your fear begins to weaken. Your hope begins to rise. Your vision begins to expand. And when your inner world changes, your outer world cannot remain the same. I am speaking to someone who has lost confidence. You used to dream big, but life disappointed you. You used to believe strongly, but people betrayed you. You used to hope freely, but circumstances crushed you. Tonight, as you connect with the Word, something is being restored. Your confidence is returning. Your courage is rising. Your vision is waking up. Do you know why many people remain poor even when opportunities come? Because they do not recognize doors when they open. They are looking for dramatic miracles and ignore simple instructions. They are waiting for loud breakthroughs and miss quiet opportunities. But when your spirit is tuned, you recognize divine signals. When you read a psalm before midnight, you are sharpening your spiritual senses. You are training your heart to recognize divine movement. You are telling your soul, wake up. Something is about to change. Listen to me carefully. Wealth is not always about having more. Sometimes it is about becoming more. When you become more disciplined, wealth follows. When you become more wise, wealth follows. When you become more patient, wealth follows. When you become more humble, wealth follows. When you become more focused, wealth follows. There are people who are surrounded by blessings, but cannot hold them because their character is weak. There are people who receive opportunities, but destroy them because their emotions are uncontrolled. But when your spirit is strengthened by the Word, you become a person who can carry what heaven gives. Tonight, I am not just speaking to your ears, I am speaking to your destiny. I am not just addressing your problems, I am addressing your future. I am not just touching your situation, I am touching your identity. When you read a psalm before midnight, you are making a declaration that your story will not end in struggle. You are declaring that your life will not be defined by limitation. You are declaring that your children will not inherit your battles. You are declaring that your name will not be associated with failure. There are invisible battles happening around you. There are forces that want to keep you small. There are voices that want to keep you afraid. There are memories that want to keep you stuck. But when the word enters your spirit, those forces lose authority. Listen, a closed door is not always a rejection. Sometimes it is protection. A delay is not always denial. Sometimes it is preparation. A struggle is not always punishment. Sometimes it is training. When you understand this, you stop complaining and start aligning. When you read a psalm before midnight, you are not only asking for wealth, you are asking for wisdom to manage wealth. You are not only asking for doors to open, you are asking for strength to walk through those doors. You are not only asking for favor, you are asking for character to sustain favor. I see someone whose financial life has been like a desert. No matter how much you try, nothing grows. But tonight, as you connect with the word, rain is falling in the spiritual realm. Seeds that were buried are beginning to germinate. Ideas that were dormant are waking up. Connections that were distant are moving closer. Do not underestimate small beginnings. Many great doors open quietly before they open loudly. Many great miracles begin as small shifts in thinking. Many great breakthroughs begin as simple obedience. When you read a psalm before midnight, you are telling your destiny, I am ready. You are telling your future, I am prepared. You are telling your fears, you no longer control me. You are telling your past, you no longer define me. Some of you have been carrying guilt, shame, regret, and disappointment like heavy luggage. But wealth does not flow easily into a heavy heart. Favor does not stay long in a bitter soul. Opportunity does not remain in a fearful mind. Tonight, the word is washing your heart. The word is renewing your mind. The word is strengthening your spirit. Listen to me. The richest people are not always those with the most money, but those with the strongest inner foundation. When storms come, they stand. When losses come, they rise. When challenges come, they learn. That is true wealth. When you read a psalm before midnight, you are building an inner foundation that cannot be shaken by economic changes, by people's opinions, by temporary failures, by sudden losses. I am speaking to someone who feels forgotten. You think heaven has ignored you. You think your prayers have been wasted. But listen carefully. Silence is not absence. Delay is not denial. Waiting is not rejection. Sometimes heaven is working quietly while you are shouting loudly. Tonight, as you connect with the word, something hidden is being revealed. Something delayed is being released. Something blocked is being removed. There are doors of wealth that open when you change the way you speak. Many people curse their own future with their words. They say, nothing works for me. They say, I will always be poor. They say, people like me never succeed. When you read a psalm, you replace those words with divine truth. And when your words change, your direction changes. Listen, your mouth is not just for eating, it is for creating. Your words are not just sounds, they are seeds. When you speak fear, you plant fear. When you speak faith, you plant faith. When you speak hope, you plant hope. When you speak the word, you plant destiny. When you read a psalm before midnight, you are planting seeds in the soil of your future. Some seeds will grow tomorrow. Some seeds will grow next week. Some seeds will grow next year. But none of them will be wasted. I see someone whose family history is full of struggle. Poverty moved from generation to generation like a curse. Failure repeated itself like a pattern. But tonight, as you connect with the word, that pattern is breaking. A new story is being written. A new line is being drawn. Do not underestimate the power of one spiritual decision. One moment of alignment can change decades of struggle. One moment of revelation can change generations of limitation. When you read a psalm before midnight, you are stepping out of ordinary time into divine timing. You are saying, I refuse to be a victim of circumstances. I choose to be a participant in divine purpose. Listen carefully. Doors of wealth do not open for people who hate responsibility. Doors of wealth do not open for people who fear growth. Doors of wealth do not open for people who resist change. But when your spirit is trained by the word, you begin to love responsibility, embrace growth, and welcome change. Tonight, something is happening inside you. Your mindset is shifting. Your fears are weakening. Your faith is rising. Your vision is expanding. Some of you will notice after tonight that your thinking has changed. You will no longer see problems the same way. You will no longer see opportunities the same way. You will no longer see yourself the same way. That is the beginning of wealth. Listen, wealth is attracted to clarity. When you know who you are, doors recognize you. When you know what you want, opportunities locate you. When you know where you are going, favor follows you. When you read a psalm before midnight, you are gaining clarity. You are discovering identity. You are aligning direction. I am speaking to someone who has been afraid to dream again. You were hurt before, so you stopped dreaming. You were disappointed before, so you stopped hoping. But tonight, as the word touches your spirit, your dreams are waking up. Your hope is returning. Your courage is rising. Do not be afraid of doors opening. Do not be afraid of success. Do not be afraid of wealth. Sometimes people sabotage themselves because they feel unworthy of blessing. But when the word renews your mind, you begin to understand that you are not begging for wealth. You are stepping into what was prepared for you. Listen carefully. The psalm you read is not magic. It is alignment. It is connection. It is agreement between your spirit and divine purpose. When that agreement happens, resistance becomes weak. Tonight, I see doors moving, doors of ideas, doors of opportunities, doors of connections, doors of favor, doors of wisdom, doors of financial stability. But remember this, when doors open, your responsibility increases. When wealth comes, your discipline must grow. When favor increases, your humility must deepen. When opportunities multiply, your focus must sharpen. When you read a psalm before midnight, you are not only asking for more, you are preparing to become more. Listen, some people want wealth to escape responsibility. Some people want wealth to prove something to others. Some people want wealth to feed pride. But true wealth is given to those who are ready to use it with wisdom. Tonight, as you connect with the word, your motives are being purified. Your desires are being refined. Your heart is being aligned. I am speaking to someone who has been struggling silently. You smile outside, but inside you are tired. You look strong, but inside you are weak. But tonight, strength is entering your spirit. Light is entering your mind. Peace is entering your heart. When peace enters your heart, wealth finds a place to stay. When order enters your mind, opportunity finds a place to grow. When clarity enters your spirit, favor finds a place to rest. Listen carefully. Doors of wealth are not always dramatic. Sometimes they open as new ideas. Sometimes they open as new relationships. Sometimes they open as sudden courage. Sometimes they open as unexpected opportunities. After tonight, pay attention to small shifts. Pay attention to new thoughts. Pay attention to new opportunities. Pay attention to unusual connections. They may be answers to what you declared. When you read a psalm before midnight, you are not forcing heaven, you are aligning with heaven. And when alignment happens, resistance becomes irrelevant. I see someone whose life has been full of struggle, but tonight marks a turning point. Not because of noise, not because of emotion, but because of alignment. Listen. The word you connect with tonight will continue working long after your eyes close. While you sleep, your spirit will be processing truth. While you rest, your mind will be adjusting. While you wait, your destiny will be moving. Do not underestimate what is happening right now. Sometimes the greatest miracles happen quietly inside before they appear loudly outside. Tonight, as you read a psalm before midnight, do it with understanding. Do it with faith. Do it with expectation. Do it with sincerity, not as a ritual, but as a conversation. Not as a habit, but as alignment. Not as tradition, but as transformation. Because what happens when your spirit aligns with divine purpose is beyond human explanation. Doors that were closed begin to open. Paths that were blocked begin to clear. Opportunities that were distant begin to approach. Listen to me. Wealth is not chasing you. It is responding to alignment. Favor is not random. It is attracted by readiness. Opportunity is not accidental. It is attracted by preparation. Tonight, as your spirit aligns, your future responds. And when you step into tomorrow, you will not step as the same person who entered tonight. Something has shifted. Something has changed. Something has opened. Something has begun. Listen to me carefully. There is a mystery many people overlook, and that mystery is timing. You can do the right thing at the wrong time and still get the wrong result. You can have the right idea but release it too early and watch it fail. You can have the right opportunity but respond too late and watch it pass. Spiritual timing is the invisible hand that determines whether effort becomes success or struggle becomes breakthrough. Many people think their problem is lack of ability, lack of education, lack of connections, lack of resources, but often the real issue is timing. They move when they should wait. They speak when they should listen. They push when they should prepare. They relax when they should act. And because they do not understand timing, their outcomes become painful, confusing, and frustrating. There is a difference between speed and timing. Speed is human. Timing is spiritual. Speed is driven by pressure. Timing is guided by wisdom. Speed is about doing something fast. Timing is about doing something right. You can run very fast in the wrong direction and still be far from your destiny. You can move slowly in the right direction and still arrive at your breakthrough. Look at your life. There were moments when you tried so hard, but nothing worked. There were seasons when you knocked on doors, but no one answered. There were times when you felt ready, but opportunities refused to appear. You thought heaven was silent. You thought destiny had forgotten you. You thought your efforts were wasted. But what if the issue was not rejection? What if the issue was timing? There are moments when heaven says, not now. Not because you are unworthy, not because you are rejected, but because you are not yet prepared. There are moments when heaven says, wait. Not because your dream is wrong, but because your foundation is still weak. There are moments when heaven says, later. Not because your desire is evil, but because your character is still growing. Many people destroy their future because they cannot wait. They rush into relationships that ruin them. They rush into businesses that collapse them. They rush into decisions that trap them. They rush into success they cannot sustain. When timing is ignored, even blessings become burdens. Listen to me. Spiritual timing is not about guessing. It is about sensitivity. It is about learning to sense when to move and when to stay still. It is about understanding that silence can be instruction and delay can be protection. It is about realizing that the same door that is closed today can open tomorrow if you wait with wisdom. There are seasons in life. There is a season to plant and a season to harvest. There is a season to fight and a season to rest. There is a season to speak and a season to be silent. There is a season to push and a season to prepare. When you confuse seasons, you confuse outcomes. Some people try to harvest what they have not planted. Some people try to celebrate what they have not built. Some people try to lead what they have not learned. Some people try to teach what they have not understood. And when they fail, they think they are cursed. But in reality, they violated timing. Listen carefully. Timing is the difference between struggle and ease. When you move in alignment with timing, things that look difficult become simple. Doors that looked heavy become light. Opportunities that looked impossible become natural. But when you move outside timing, even simple things become hard. You must understand this truth. Destiny is not only about where you are going, it is about when you arrive. If you arrive too early, you will not be welcomed. If you arrive too late, you will not be needed. If you arrive at the right time, everything will recognize you. There are people who had great talent, but failed because they appeared too early. The world was not ready for them, and they were not ready for the world. There are people who had great ideas, but released them too late, and others took their place. Timing is the silent judge that decides who rises and who falls. Listen to me. You can pray, you can fast, you can work, you can plan. But if you do not understand timing, your efforts will be wasted. Prayer without timing becomes frustration. Effort without timing becomes exhaustion. Vision without timing becomes confusion. There are moments when you must push, and there are moments when you must pause. There are moments when you must speak boldly, and there are moments when you must remain quiet. There are moments when you must take risks, and there are moments when you must protect yourself. Wisdom is knowing the difference. Many people are angry at life because they feel delayed. They look at others and say, "Why them and not me?" They compare their journey with others and feel inferior. They see others rising and feel left behind. But listen carefully. Delay is not denial. Delay is often preparation in disguise. Some fruits take longer to grow because they are stronger. Some buildings take longer to build because they are higher. Some destinies take longer to manifest because they are greater. If your process is slow, it does not mean your future is small. There are things you prayed for years ago that did not happen, and you thought heaven ignored you. But what if they did not happen because you were not ready? What if they did not happen because they would have destroyed you at that time? What if they did not happen because your mindset was too small to handle them? Listen to me carefully. Timing protects you from blessings you cannot handle. Timing protects you from success that would destroy your character. Timing protects you from opportunities that would expose your weakness. Sometimes the greatest mercy is delay. There are people who got money too early and lost their soul. There are people who got fame too early and lost their identity. There are people who got power too early and lost their humility. Timing is not punishment. Timing is protection. But listen also, there are moments when delay becomes disobedience. There are moments when waiting becomes fear. There are moments when caution becomes excuse. There are moments when hesitation becomes sabotage. Timing is not only about waiting, it is also about courage. Some people wait too long. They overthink everything. They fear every step. They doubt every opportunity. They postpone every decision. And while they are waiting for perfect conditions, their doors close. Timing is not perfection. Timing is obedience. Listen to me. There is a moment when you must move even if you feel afraid. There is a moment when you must act even if you feel unready. There is a moment when you must speak even if your voice shakes. That moment is called alignment. When you move in alignment with timing, fear loses its power. When you move in alignment with timing, resistance becomes weak. When you move in alignment with timing, help appears unexpectedly. Look at your life again. There were moments when you met someone unexpectedly, and that meeting changed your destiny. There were moments when you made a decision suddenly, and that decision changed your future. There were moments when you avoided something unknowingly, and that avoidance saved your life. That was timing. There are invisible forces arranging events around you. There are unseen hands positioning people in your path. There are unseen instructions guiding your steps. But if your spirit is noisy, you will miss them. If your mind is crowded, you will ignore them. If your heart is stubborn, you will resist them. Spiritual timing requires sensitivity. Sensitivity is the ability to feel when something is right or wrong beyond logic. Sensitivity is the ability to sense when to move or stop beyond emotion. Sensitivity is the ability to hear quiet signals in a loud world. Many people fail not because they are stupid, but because they are insensitive. They ignore inner warnings. They ignore subtle signs. They ignore quiet instructions. And later, they suffer consequences. Listen to me. Timing speaks quietly. It does not always shout. Sometimes it comes as discomfort. Sometimes it comes as hesitation. Sometimes it comes as peace. Sometimes it comes as disturbance. If you learn to listen, you will avoid many disasters. There are relationships you should not enter yet. There are businesses you should not start yet. There are battles you should not fight yet. There are opportunities you should not grab yet. Not because they are bad, but because the time is wrong. But there are also opportunities you must not ignore. There are doors you must not hesitate to enter. There are chances you must not postpone. There are moments you must not waste, because when timing passes, it may never return. Listen carefully. Timing is like a train. When it arrives, you must board it. If you hesitate too long, it will leave. And when it leaves, you may wait years for another one. Some people lost their destiny because they were too afraid to move when the moment came. They said, I am not ready. They said, let me think more. They said, maybe later. And later never came. Spiritual timing changes outcomes because it changes decisions. When you move at the right time, your decisions become powerful. When you move at the wrong time, your decisions become destructive. There are people who married at the right time and built stable families. There are people who married at the wrong time and built prisons for themselves. There are people who started businesses at the right time and built empires. There are people who started businesses at the wrong time and built debts. The difference was not intelligence. The difference was not effort. The difference was timing. Listen to me. Timing is not something you control. It is something you discern. You cannot force it, but you can align with it. You cannot manipulate it, but you can respect it. Some people think if they push harder, timing will change. They think if they cry louder, timing will shift. They think if they complain more, timing will move. But timing does not respond to pressure. It responds to alignment. When you align your heart, your mind, your actions with divine order, timing responds naturally. There are moments when you must prepare quietly while others celebrate loudly. There are moments when you must learn silently while others boast proudly. There are moments when you must build secretly while others display publicly. If you understand timing, you will not envy others. You will focus on your process. Envy is a sign of ignorance of timing. When you envy someone, you assume their season is your season. When you compare yourself with others, you ignore your unique journey. When you rush because others are rising, you sabotage your destiny. Listen carefully. Not everyone rises at the same time. Not everyone blooms in the same season. Not everyone succeeds in the same way. Timing is personal. Destiny is individual. Some people rise early and fall early. Some people rise late and last long. Some people shine briefly. Some people shine permanently. Timing determines durability. There are people who became successful overnight and disappeared within years. There are people who struggled for decades and became legends. The difference is not luck. The difference is timing and preparation. Listen to me. Preparation without timing leads to frustration. Timing without preparation leads to destruction. Both must work together. If you receive opportunities without preparation, you will waste them. If you prepare without timing, you will become tired. But when preparation meets timing, miracles happen. Look at your life again. There were moments when you thought you were ready, but opportunities did not come. Instead of complaining, you should have prepared more. There were moments when opportunities came, but you hesitated. Instead of hesitating, you should have acted. Spiritual timing is a dance between patience and courage. You must know when to wait and when to move. You must know when to be silent and when to speak. You must know when to hold on and when to let go. Some people hold on too long to things they should release. They stay in relationships that destroy them. They stay in environments that limit them. They stay in habits that poison them. And they call it loyalty, but it is ignorance of timing. Some people let go too early of things they should fight for. They quit dreams because of difficulty. They abandon visions because of delay. They leave responsibilities because of pressure. And they call it wisdom, but it is fear. Listen to me. Timing requires discernment, not emotion. If you decide based on feelings alone, you will miss timing. If you decide based on pressure alone, you will miss timing. If you decide based on opinions alone, you will miss timing. There are moments when logic will tell you to stop, but timing will tell you to continue. There are moments when emotions will tell you to run, but timing will tell you to stay. There are moments when people will tell you to quit, but timing will tell you to persist. Spiritual timing changes outcomes because it changes perception. When you understand timing, you stop seeing delay as failure. You stop seeing waiting as punishment. You stop seeing silence as abandonment. You start seeing everything as part of a larger design. When you understand timing, you become calm in chaos. You become patient in pressure. You become hopeful in delay. You become confident in uncertainty. There are people who panic when things delay. They rush, they force, they manipulate. And in trying to speed up destiny, they destroy it. Listen carefully. Destiny is not cooked by fire alone. It is cooked by time. Some things cannot be rushed. Some processes cannot be accelerated. Some transformations cannot be forced. A seed does not become a tree overnight. A child does not become an adult in a day. A vision does not become reality in a moment. If you force growth, you kill life. Spiritual timing teaches you to respect process. It teaches you to honor growth. It teaches you to value preparation. There are people who want results without process. They want success without discipline. They want wealth without wisdom. They want recognition without responsibility. But timing exposes such people. When the moment comes, they collapse because they are not ready. Listen to me. Timing does not only open doors, it tests character. When doors open, your patience is tested. When opportunities come, your humility is tested. When success arrives, your discipline is tested. Some people prayed for doors to open, but when they opened, they became proud. Some people prayed for wealth, but when it came, they became arrogant. Some people prayed for influence, but when they got it, they lost themselves. Timing is not only about receiving, it is about sustaining. Spiritual timing changes outcomes because it shapes identity. When you wait correctly, you grow stronger. When you move correctly, you become wiser. When you align correctly, you become deeper. Look at your life again. There were moments when you thought delay was killing you, but later you realized it was shaping you. There were moments when you thought rejection was destroying you, but later you realized it was redirecting you. Listen carefully. Rejection is sometimes timing speaking. Failure is sometimes timing teaching. Loss is sometimes timing correcting. When you understand this, you stop fighting everything. You stop complaining about everything. You stop blaming everyone. You begin to ask deeper questions. Why now? Why not now? Why here? Why not here? And as you grow, you begin to sense answers without noise. Spiritual timing changes outcomes because it changes reactions. When something delays, you no longer panic. When something fails, you no longer collapse. When something ends, you no longer die inside. You begin to see life as movement, not stagnation. There are people who died emotionally because one door closed. There are people who lost hope because one opportunity failed. There are people who gave up because one relationship ended. But if they understood timing, they would have known that closed doors are sometimes instructions. Listen to me. Not every door is meant to be opened. Not every opportunity is meant to be taken. Not every relationship is meant to be continued. Timing reveals purpose. Some doors close because they are not aligned with your destiny. Some relationships end because they are not aligned with your future. Some opportunities disappear because they are not aligned with your identity. When you fight to keep what timing is removing, you sabotage your future. Spiritual timing requires courage to let go. Let go of people who are holding you back. Let go of habits that are destroying you. Let go of environments that are limiting you. Let go of mindsets that are poisoning you. Some people stay in wrong places because they fear loneliness. Some people stay in wrong patterns because they fear change. Some people stay in wrong situations because they fear uncertainty. But timing sometimes pushes you out to move you forward. Listen carefully. Growth is uncomfortable. Transition is painful. Change is frightening. But stagnation is deadly. Spiritual timing changes outcomes because it pushes you into transformation. When the moment comes, you may feel uncomfortable, but that discomfort is not danger, it is growth. You may feel afraid, but that fear is not destruction, it is transition. You may feel uncertain, but that uncertainty is not confusion, it is expansion. There are moments when you must leave what is familiar to enter what is destined. There are moments when you must abandon what is comfortable to embrace what is meaningful. Timing does not always make sense. Sometimes it contradicts logic. Sometimes it opposes emotions. Sometimes it challenges tradition. But if you follow it, outcomes change. Listen to me. Many people failed because they followed logic without timing. Many people succeeded because they followed timing beyond logic. There are moments when logic will say, this is impossible, but timing will say, move. There are moments when logic will say, this is risky, but timing will say, act. There are moments when logic will say, this is foolish, but timing will say, trust. Spiritual timing is not blind faith, it is deep perception. When you understand timing, you stop living randomly. You stop making impulsive decisions. You stop reacting emotionally. You begin to move strategically, calmly, wisely. Your life becomes ordered. Your steps become intentional. Your choices become meaningful. Spiritual timing changes outcomes because it changes direction. Some people are busy but going nowhere. Some people are active but stagnant. Some people are working hard but moving in circles. Timing redirects such lives. When you align with timing, you stop moving in circles and start moving forward. Listen to me. There is a time when struggle must end and favor must begin. There is a time when learning must end and manifestation must begin. There is a time when preparation must end and revelation must begin. You cannot stay in preparation forever. You cannot stay in waiting forever. You cannot stay in hiding forever. Timing will eventually call you out. But when that moment comes, you must be ready. If you are not ready, when timing arrives, you will miss it. If you are not courageous, when timing arrives, you will lose it. If you are not disciplined, when timing arrives, you will destroy it. That is why waiting is not inactivity. Waiting is preparation. While you wait, you must grow. While you wait, you must learn. While you wait, you must refine your character. While you wait, you must sharpen your skills. Some people wait physically but sleep spiritually. They waste time instead of using it. And when timing arrives, they are empty. Listen to me. Time does not wait for anyone. Timing may be spiritual, but time is physical. If you waste time, you insult timing. Spiritual timing changes outcomes because it teaches you to respect time. When you respect time, you stop procrastinating. When you respect time, you stop postponing growth. When you respect time, you stop delaying decisions. You realize that every day is preparation for a moment you cannot predict. There are people who prepared for years for a moment that lasted seconds. But those seconds changed their lives forever. There are people who wasted years and missed moments that could have changed their destiny forever. Listen carefully. Moments are expensive. Timing is precious. Opportunities are rare. When you understand this, you stop living casually. You stop treating life as a game. You stop wasting potential. Spiritual timing changes outcomes because it awakens urgency without anxiety. You become urgent but not desperate. You become focused but not tense. You become determined but not reckless. You move with calm intensity. Listen to me. Your life is not late. Your destiny is not cancelled. Your future is not lost. You are in a process of timing. Some things have not happened yet because you are still becoming the person who can handle them. Some doors have not opened yet because you are still learning to walk through them. Some opportunities have not appeared yet because you are still developing the eyes to recognize them. Do not rush the process. Do not despise the waiting. Do not hate the delay. But also do not sleep in the process. Do not waste the waiting. Do not abuse the delay, because the day will come when timing will knock. And when that day comes, your outcomes will depend on how you responded to timing.